Hey everybody,
welcome to the One Sheet.
I was gonna do it. You beat me to it. I was gonna do it too.
Hey everybody, this is the One Sheet. Nothing? Okay.
Nothing.
All right, this is the One Sheet. This is the show where we talk about movie posters and movie posters design. In case you didn't know, One Sheet, the title, refers to what movie posters are commonly referred to in the industry. One sheet. Okay, so I am Stewart Schuster. This is
Mr. Ben Burns, and we have a special guest today.
Hey, Greg Gunn here.
And today we're going to be talking about Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. This movie was directed by David Yates. It stars Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and a ton of other people. It would take me like 15 minutes to get through everybody that's in here.
Dang.
Wow.
This poster was designed by Works Advertising. Other work by Works ADV includes the original Fantastic Beasts poster, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Blade Runner 2049, and Mad Max Fury Road. Normally I give you a synopsis of the movie, but since this one is a sequel to a fairly recent movie, I'm just going to say that this is the second part in the Fantastic Beasts series, which is a prequel to the Harry Potter series, and that's going to be it. No spoilers.
I didn't know it was a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't see it. Didn't see this one. This is the only one that I didn't see.
Harry Potter is but a glint in his pappy's eyes.
Spoiler!
So now on to this awful poster.
Come on. Come on.
I think this poster is horrible.
Oh boy.
Okay. And I wanted to give a shout out to Works because I know that Works has done a bunch of work for the Fantastic Beasts series, and a lot of their other posters are really great. But for some reason, when you look up the movie on IMDb and you go to buy tickets and everything, you see this awful version, and I just hate it. And we're going to get into why. Greg, what do you think?
I dig it. I dig the poster.
No!
Okay. I have no dog in this fight, but Works, kudos. I like the poster for very specific reasons, which we can debate, Ben. I'm up for it.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I really do, because he showed me this poster the other day, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
There's like a barf emoji that needs to show up right here. We usually start off with the pros, so Greg, I would love to hear what you think they did well here.
Okay. Well, wasn't ready for that. Okay.
well, nothing. The answer is nothing.
So yes, I am a fan of this poster, and I'm not a contrarian. Okay, so that's not what I'm about here, but I think it's cool that they did something a little different with a film poster.
Okay.
Because when you think movie film poster, what do you imagine?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I look at this, it's an ensemble of cast.
Right.
And so the typical Hollywood movie poster is an ensemble, and they always have these floating heads. It's like the whole cast was beheaded, and they're all just positioned.
Yeah, and they're all looking different ways.
Right,
It's like,
right.
What does that mean? Like, it's just a weird kind of bleh of stuff, right? They're always beautiful, no offense. But I think it was kind of cool that they took a different approach here. So I know nothing about this film at all. I think I watched the one before this, but what this is, I don't quite understand. But you're right, ensemble cast, like Johnny Depp, like all those people, that's amazing, right? So I think seeing them in like this huge lineup is really kind of nice. It kind of like sets the bar equally. You don't get like who the highest paid actor or actress is has the biggest floating head. It's kind of like, no, this is it, and it's very mysterious because who are these people? Do they relate to each other? They all kind of look a bit sinister, like they maybe have something to hide. And then the poster asks the question, who will change the future? So to me, it's a very, very mysterious poster that shows you all the potential in this giant cast, and it really makes you think like, okay, what's going on here? What are they trying to say with this poster? I don't know. To me, it kind of draws me in. It like literally asks a question, and it gets you thinking about, okay, what are they trying to do here? What do they say?
What I see when I see this is I see the client going, okay, we just want a picture of the cast and on a white background. Can you do that? and then the designer going, okay, and then just throwing something on there real quick and getting it out to be on deadline. Because all the other work that they did for them is fantastic. Compositionally, it's beautiful. And when I look at this, it's just a complete lack of hierarchy. Just the use of space is just weird. There's a lot of weirdness going on.
Okay.
So I kind of want to get into some details.
Let's do it.
All right, let's pull this up on the iPad.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing is just the overall use of space. Everything interesting is in this one little box, but compositionally, they don't draw so much attention to it because the symbol breaks the box and it just takes up this weird amount of space. So there's no consistency here. I don't see a pattern, and I don't understand why this is right dead in the center of the thing. If you have so much space up top, why isn't the header pulled up into that space? And so we have this header here. Why couldn't we just edge it up here? Now, if we were going to integrate the header into the ensemble, I think that would be cool. But if you notice, so if we zoom in here, the only overlap, the only place where the header interacts with the group is on this guy's head. That's it. And so if we're scrolling through this, there's no other overlap. And so there's just a complete lack of consistency with this thing. And so I don't understand why the header has to be so closely associated with the group. Why couldn't they just pull it up and move it up into this space here? And you could have done some really cool compositional stuff with this too, and hidden the symbol somewhere else a little bit more creatively. All right, so here's the other big thing about this is that hierarchy. My eye does not know where to look. If this was a minimalist poster, which I would have loved to see, if you got rid of the cast and you got rid of the title and just had the symbol on the page, it would be epic. But with this, it's almost distracting because it feels like everything wants to be minimalist, but it just can't get there because there's too much clutter. Also, within the cast, now maybe this goes to your point, Greg, but within the cast, I can't tell who's the most important. Now, as I said that, that's a hierarchy issue for me. But as I said that, I realized the question is who will change the future?
Right.
And so maybe having everybody on an equal playing field was a strategic design decision.
I like to think so.
Okay. This is a personal preference, but the fact that they're kind of badly photoshopped onto the pavement here that fades into white as we move away, I don't know. It just feels lazy to me. A couple things that I really love about this, though, is that the embellishments on all the typography, I freaking love these little things.
So cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. Like the little furry pieces of the puzzle here.
I think it's nice that they gave the type a little bit of a personality. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very minor thing. And even when you kind of step back from a distance, you can't necessarily see it. Like a little bit on the T of the, but, and maybe on the F, but for the most part, you just see kind of a nice looking, like, whimsical, mysterious typeface.
Right.
If you really are looking in, and let's say, I think they kind of make you want to look in by having the cast this kind of small on the poster, then you start to see between the letters, so to speak, all these little cool details. And that's what I think this poster is doing. I think it's like not something you stand far away at and look at. Maybe you start there and you see the question mark and you're like, who will? And as you get closer, you start to see a lot more little cool detail that's going on. To your point, this is not without weirdness. I'm with you on a couple things. Fundamentally, I like what the poster does. I think it's really cool. And like you said, if you look close, all these cool little embellishments around the T and like all the stuff, that totally makes sense with the theme, right? It's about fantastic beasts and magic and monsters, and it's really cool. And you even get these nice little moments where people are holding their wand and there's like a cool little like lens flare happening on it. Like, that's awesome, right? And the main character, he's got this crazy little guy on his shoulder. I don't know what it is, but when I get close, I'm like, what is that? That's really cool. So I think to recap, this poster draws me in, right? Like that, I believe that's their intent. And it's very different than what you might see in a regular movie poster, which I kind of appreciate. It's not using the same typeface. It's not using the same floating head layout. I dig that. I'm a fan. They took a risk, albeit not perfect in my opinion. There's a lot of cool things that they're trying to do. What irks me a little bit yes, where the type is placed, Ben, I'm with you there, because it does bother me that it only overlaps this dude's head on the left, right? Like, it's nice. I think that's a nice thing, but
See, when it happens once, it looks like a mistake. When
Right.
it happens more than once,
Yeah.
it looks like it was intentional.
And I think the problem is probably legibility, because this typeface isn't super thick and bold, and so
Right.
if you were to drop it any lower, you might lose the read. Which, to your point, yeah, maybe if they were to bring it up here, I could see that working out. The other thing, which I have to agree with you on, is the kind of, I guess, opacity of this crazy symbol back here. It looks like Illuminati. It's just missing an eye. I don't know what it is. I imagine it makes
Well,
something.
that's like the symbol.
Oh, it's the symbol for the thing. Okay.
And it runs through Harry Potter too, doesn't it?
You know what? I think you're right.
I think it does.
It's been a while. I got to
It's been a
rewatch
minute.
some stuff.
It's been a minute, but that's a really
Yeah.
important symbol. And I would have loved, like, if this poster were black and white with just the symbol, I would have been like, sold, going to the movie, buying the poster. It's going to hang up in my office. If it were black and gold, oh my God.
Even better.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, so the symbol has to be there. I get that. And I think I understand why they positioned the type here, is because they wanted the symbol to kind of live in the center and frame the cast, right? And it's, it's triangular, so it's not exactly the best frame, but I get it. I think what would have helped is if they made the symbol a little more kind of translucent and just kind of pushed it back in the frame a little bit. If it were a light gray, so just soften it up, pushing it back a little bit, something like this. This is a terrible, like example, but like,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
you start to get a little,
now there's
a little more
bit more
focus.
hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't get
more.
these like, especially these sharp lines that completely break frame that go all the way across. So I think if it were to be a little softened, in my opinion, that might be a little kind of better read in terms of visual hierarchy too.
Right. So guys, this is the last thing I notice. Whenever we're creative directing a piece, whenever we're working with a designer, one of the things that we look out for every single time are these little awkward trapped spaces. So if we zoom in here on the L and the U, you can see that there's really weird trapped spaces between the line of the symbol and the lines of the letters. And so what I would do, this can be fixed with many different ways. I think that reducing the opacity of the symbol is one way, but I also think like adjusting the type, fixing the tracking, or fixing the size of the type, or working with that layout just a little bit more so that the type would just overlap that line. And then you wouldn't get that weird trap space in between. Now it's time for Did You Know?
Did you know that I've never read any of the Harry Potter books?
Oh, Stewart.
Did you know that?
Dude, you're
Why
just
not?
not recognizing.
Now it's time for a knowledge check.
Why haven't you read it? I'm genuinely curious.
It's time for your knowledge check. In this poster, the logo, the Crimes of Grindelwald, the letter A in Grindelwald has been replaced with a symbol. Now, it is not a triangle. There's an actual name for this symbol. And if you know it, I want to see you post a comment below and let us know. So this is for our friends at Works Advertising. Listen, we love all of the other posters that you did for this series, and you guys do amazing, incredible work. And we saw this poster, and it was kind of weird to us because it just didn't match the rest of the portfolio. So we wanted to use this as a learning opportunity for our audience. I hope you don't mind. Thank you. As always, guys, I want you to go out there and crush it. You got this. Like, subscribe. We love you. Goodbye.